Good morning, children. Previously, we had completed, children, first chapter resources and the next chapter land, soil, natural resource, and wildlife. Children, as we are the students of class 8, and here in geography, resources are covered. In the process, we studied water resources, types of resources, conservation. We had studied in the first chapter, and in the next chapter we had studied about land resource, natural resource, wildlife resource, water, like this, air, all these things we studied in our second chapter. Now in our next chapter, chapter 3, that is mineral and power resource. Children, this is also a resource. As land is resource, soil is resource, natural vegetation is resource, wildlife is resource, human being itself a resource we studied. Now we are over through mineral and power resource. Children, minerals, you all know what are minerals. Minerals are the elements that are found mixed in the rocks. We extract them one by one by their process, like iron, like aluminium, like mica, like copper. These are the resources. Manganese, bauxite. These all resources we extract from the rocks that are lying in a form of hill on the surface of earth over the crust. Children, in mineral and power resource, first we go through the mineral resource. Let's proceed to our chapter. It is mineral and power resource. This chapter starts from mineral and power resource. Here is a story. Kiri was visiting Sukant in his native place near Dhanwad. Dhanwad is a district in Jharkhand. So children, here is the child Kiri was visiting Sukant. Kiri is going to meet Sukant at his native village, native place. Native means where the birthplace where person lives. So Kiri is going to the house of Sukant near Dhanwad to meet him. Kiri was amazed to see that large areas were black. Kiri was seeing that the soil of Dhanwad is black. Sukant, why is the place so black and dusty? Why is this place so black? Why is the dust lying here? Kiri asked to Sukant. She asked, this is because of the coal mines nearby. Now Sukant is saying, this dust and this black soil, it is due to the mines of coal. Do you see the trucks? They are carrying the mineral coal. They are carrying the mineral coal. You can see there are the cranes lying there, the JCBs and the dumpers are doing its work. They are carrying the mineral coal, replied Sukant. Sukant answered to the Kiri. Children, you know how coal is formed? Coal is formed by the dumping of huge rocks and I will say fossil fuels like wood, forest underground, and in a long term, in a long years, it turned into a coal and other fossil fuels. So is the formation of coal. This is a changement of forest in or rocks in the form of coal. What are minerals? Asked Kiri. Now the Kiri is not knowing what are minerals. So as he heard the word mineral, she asked, what is mineral? Asked Kiri. Sukant replied. Sukant answered to Kiri, have you ever seen a baker baking biscuit? Sukant is describing how a baker bakes its biscuits. You all know biscuits are made of flour and then they are baked. Baked, you know, roasted on the in the baking device. The flour, milk, sugar and sometimes eggs are mixed together. You all know flour, the grinding material from wheat. Milk, you all know. Sugar, you all know. sometime eggs. These are four things you all know are mixed together. While eating the baked biscuits, can you see these ingredients separately? No. When this baking happened, one cannot see the ingredients. Ingredients means the flour, milk, sugar, and eggs. You cannot see it separately after being baked. Just as in the biscuits, there are a number of things that you cannot see. Rocks on this earth have several materials called minerals mixed in them. The rocks are not only they are rocks, they are having minerals inside it also. They are mixed in the rocks. These minerals are scattered through the earth's rocky crust. So these minerals are scattered throughout the earth. Now these minerals are not at one place. They are lying in Jammu and Kashmir, they are lying in Madhya Pradesh, in Deccan Plateau, in the Chota Nagpur Plateau, in Madhya Pradesh, like I will give you the name Jayant Koilari in MP. These are the places. So they are extracted, they are scattered through all over India. Okay, do you know now a knowledgeable thing that the salt in your food and graphite in your pencil are also minerals? Okay, salt you all know, you all are well known with the salt. Graphite you all are known to the pencil that, and inside it the graphite lead is used for writing. So these are also minerals. A naturally occurring substance that has definite chemical composition is a mineral. Now a definition given here: a naturally occurring substance that has a definite chemical composition is a minerals. Minerals are not evenly distributed over space, equally. They are not equally distributed at every place. They are concentrated in a particular area or rock formation. Where the rocks are found, they are concentrated there. And it doesn't mean anywhere the rocks are found, the minerals are to be extracted. No. Somewhere they are concentrated in some rocks, not each of the rocks. Some minerals are found in areas which are not easily accessible. Some minerals are found in areas which are not easily accessible, such as Arctic Ocean bed and Antarctica. Yes, children, it is a difficult task to access the minerals of Arctic Ocean bed and in the Antarctica, because they are these Arctic and Antarctic are the places where the icebergs are floating, and it is too cold, extremely cold there to survive there. And where the survival is difficult, how can the minerals be extracted in Arctic and Antarctic beds? Minerals are formed in different types of geological environment. Minerals are formed in different types of geological environments. Okay, this is the nature of the minerals, that they are unevenly distributed on the earth crust, found in different types of geological environments. Different type of geological environments under varying condition. Not only the environment but also the conditions are different. They are created by natural processes. They are not made by any machine. They are not made by any machines. They are naturally formed during the evolution of Earth's crust. They are created by natural process without any human interference. Means when the minerals are formed, they are not used. When the minerals are formed, they are not formed by human being. They are formed by the natural process, not by human interference, not by the role of human. They can be identified on the basis of their physical properties. You can say they can be identified on the basis of their physical properties. Up here is the question lying: if somewhere the minerals are lying, how can you find out the minerals? That this rock is having the minerals, that place is having the minerals. How can you find out? So this phenomena we use of colors, density, hardness, chemical property such as solubility. All these things we see. First we see the rocks, the color of the rocks. We calculate it that in this color such rock can be extracted. By the density of rocks we can find out. By the hardness of rock we can evaluate that some mineral may be there. By the chemical property we can find out that this mineral is found here. Now children, these are the some introduction about what is mineral and where are they found. So by these things there may be the question, how can you find out that some rock is found, some rock has minerals there? So we can find out, we can identify by minerals by the colors of rock, by the density, by the hardness, by chemical property. Like this we can find out. Now the question next is types of minerals. Types of minerals, same there as classification had happened in the resources. Now here is the classification of minerals. You can say classification. There are over 3000 different minerals. Now you will be known to it that 3000 different minerals are found over the earth's crust. On the basis of composition, minerals are classified mainly as metallic and non-metallic minerals. Children, minerals are classified in two ways, metallic and non-metallic. Metallic has a definition, and furthermore metallic is classified in ferrous and non-ferrous. Ferrous means the mineral that is having iron content in it, and the mineral that is not having the iron content in it, that is non-ferrous. Ferrous means iron content. So this is ferrous and non-ferrous, metallic and non-metallic. Now let's define metallic. Metallic minerals contain metal in raw form. What the metallic minerals contain metal in a raw form. Raw form, you can know the very first position, the initial position of metal, means that cannot be directly used for different purposes. Raw means that is indulged, that is in the mixed form in the rocks. Further the process goes on, formation of mineral process goes on, and from the raw mineral we find by the process a exact mineral. So metallic minerals contain metal in raw form. Raw, I will say raw, you all know, I'll give you the example, raw mango, raw apple, like this thing, raw vegetables, like this. After that we boil or roast them. Raw minerals you can easily understand. Metals are hard substances that conduct heat and electricity and have a characteristic luster or shine. Metals are hard substances. Hard, you all know, very hard. Metals are hard substances that conduct heat and electricity. Metals are hard substances that conduct heat and electricity and have a characteristic luster or shine. Metals conduct heat, they generate heat and electricity, and they also shine wherever they found. Iron ore, bauxite, manganese ore are some examples. Iron ore you all know, bauxite you know, manganese you know, are some examples as metallic minerals. Metallic minerals may be ferrous or non-ferrous. The same thing, ferrous means iron content, non-ferrous not having iron content. Ferrous minerals like iron ore, manganese, chromites contain iron. Manganese, chromite and iron ore, they have the content of iron, so they are ferrous minerals. Ferrous minerals, ferrous metals. A non-ferrous mineral does not contain iron. A non-ferrous mineral does not contain iron, but may contain some other metal such as gold, silver, copper or lead. Okay, copper you all know, a good conductor of electricity. Gold, the jewelries, the silver jewelries or lead, so they are non-ferrous. Now again, knowledge, a thing full of knowledge. Do you know a rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals, but without definite composition of constituent of minerals? Rocks from which minerals are mined are known as ores. Although more than 2,800 types of minerals have been identified, only about 100 are considered ore minerals. Although more than 2,800 types of minerals, the minerals are 2,800 types, only about 100 are considered ore minerals. All are not said that they are ore. All are not said that they are ores. Some are, 100 are considered ore minerals. In the beginning, children, one more thing it is said, how many minerals are found? Previously we studied the total number of minerals. Here they are saying that 2,800 minerals. After that, we previously, in the beginning we studied how many substances are found. We discussed over it. Okay, let's go through. Now come to it. 2,800 types of minerals were identified and 100 are considered ore minerals. Now non-metallic minerals. Minerals do not contain metals. Non-metallic minerals do not contain metals. Limestone, mica and gypsum are examples of such minerals. Remember these things: limestone, mica and gypsum. They are non-metallic. The minerals, fuels like coal and petroleum are also non-metallic minerals. Coal and petroleum, okay, these are also non-metallic minerals. Minerals can be extracted by mining, drilling or quarrying. Mining can be done and drilling can be done, and quarrying, drilling, you know, when you pump water from underground, we do drilling in the earth's surface. When we do mining, we collect the ore that is lying on the surface of the crust. That is mining. So mining, drilling and quarrying. Now extraction of minerals, there are three ways: mining, drilling and quarrying. Mining, open cast mining and shaft mining. Mining means open cast mining. You can know the copper projects that is lying in MP. The open cast mining goes on. In Kudremukh, the iron mining, open cast mining is done. So these are the examples. Now shaft mining and drilling and quarrying. Let's go through. These are the ways of extraction of minerals. Now next, the process of taking out minerals from rocks buried under the earth's surface is called mining. The process of taking out minerals. What is mining? The process of taking out minerals from rocks buried under the earth's surface. Buried, you all know, burial, buried, you know, burial sites in history. Same is buried. Buried means that are underground, under the surface of earth. Buried under the earth's surface is called mining. Minerals that lie at shallow depths. Minerals that lie at shallow depths are taken out by removing the surface layer. This is known as open cast mining. Deep bores called shafts. Deep bores called shafts have to be made to reach mineral deposits that lie at great depth. This is called shaft mining. Like petroleum and natural gas occur far below the earth's surface. So the deep wells are bored to take them out. You all know deep wells are bored to take them out. This is called drilling. Minerals that lie near the surface. Minerals that lie near the surface are simply dug out by the process known as quarrying. Here is a picture shown offshore drilling of oil. So you came to know about everything. Quarrying also. What is quarrying? Minerals that lie near the surface are simply dug out by the process known as quarrying. Next, Now distribution of minerals. We study distribution of minerals, where the distribution of minerals, distribution where the minerals are found, distribution where are they lying, how, where they are distributed on the surface of the earth, where are they found on the surface of the earth. That is that distribution. Distribution is not giving and taking, how they are unevenly separate and unevenly found on the surface of the earth, unevenly scattered on the surface of the earth. I am trying to define you about distribution of minerals. The word distribution of minerals. Minerals occur in different types of rocks. Minerals occur in different types of rocks. Some are found in igneous rocks, some in metamorphic rocks, while others in sedimentary rocks. Generally, metallic minerals are found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Metallic minerals are found in igneous and metamorphic rock formation that form large plateaus. Igneous and metamorphic rocks that form large plateaus. They form large plateaus. Iron ore in North Sweden, copper and nickel deposits in Ontario. Sweden, you know, in Europe. Ontario, I think it is in Canada. Iron, nickel, chromites, okay, platinum in South Africa are examples of minerals found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Now again I am saying iron ore in North Sweden, copper and nickel deposits in Ontario, Canada, iron, nickel, chromites, platinum in South Africa are examples of minerals found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Now the sedimentary rocks formations of plains and young fold mountains contain non-metallic minerals like limestone. Okay. Limestone deposits of Caucasus region of France. In the Caucasus region, limestone is found. Manganese deposits of Georgia and Ukraine, and phosphate beds of Algeria are some examples. Where the manganese deposits are found? They are found in Georgia. Where is Georgia? Georgia in United States of America. This is a state of America, USA. And Ukraine. Ukraine is a country in Europe. And phosphate beds of Algeria. Phosphate beds of Algeria are some examples. Mineral fuels such as coal and petroleum are also found in sedimentary strata. Now mineral fuels such as coal. What are mineral fuels? Mineral fuels, you all know, petroleum, kerosene, diesel, natural gas, all these things, and gases. Mineral fuels, natural gas, mineral fuels such as coal and petroleum are also found in the sedimentary strata. Means where the sedimentary strata are found. Okay. Now strata means layer. Do you know, again the knowledgeable thing, again a GK thing, you can always tell if a rock contains copper, because then the rock looks blue in color. Wherever the rock is looking blue, we can just hope that there may be the chances of copper in the rock. So this is example. If some rock is having the bluish color, you can say that this is a copper. This might be a copper. Now we are going through one by one over the continents. We are going to study where the where the location of different minerals found on the surface of earth. First we are taking Asia. You are showing here world distribution of iron, copper and bauxite. On the map all these features are shown by some symbol. Now first we take Asia. Now Asia, China and India have large iron ore deposits. In China and India there are large iron ore deposits. Deposits means chances of availability. The continent produces more than half of the world's tin. Means India and China is producing half of the world's tin. China, Malaysia, Indonesia are among the world's leading tin producers. China, Malaysia and Indonesia, they are the leading producer in tin. China also leads in production of lead, antimony and tungsten. These are the popular extractions of China. Lead, antimony and tungsten, they are richly found there. Now next is Asia also has deposits of manganese, bauxite, nickel, zinc and copper. Now in Asia, manganese is also found, bauxite, nickel, zinc and copper. Again, a GK thing. Do you know Switzerland has no mineral deposit in it? Means no mineral deposits are found in Switzerland, a country of Europe. Now these three or four lines are for Asia. Now next, Europe. Europe is the leading producer of iron ore. Asia, you came to know that what are found in Asia, in which minerals Asia is rich. It is I will say tin, lead, antimony, tungsten, manganese, bauxite, nickel, zinc, copper. These. And in Europe, Europe is the leading producer of iron ore in the world. Europe is the leading producer of iron ore in the world. The countries with large deposits of iron ore are Russia, Ukraine, Sweden and France. They are having the large deposits of iron ore. Minerals deposit of copper, lead, zinc, manganese and nickel are found in Eastern Europe and European Russia. Minerals deposits of copper, lead, zinc, manganese and nickel are found in Eastern Europe and European Russia. Now let's do, there is something that is to be done by you. Identify the Canadian Shield, the Appalachians, the Western Cordilleras and Lake Superior with the help of an atlas. Children, Canadian Shield is found in the North American continent from USA to Canada. The Appalachian Mountains are also, the Canadian Shield and the Appalachian Mountains, they are also side by side. And the Western Cordillera, Lake Superior, there is the 7 lakes at one place. They are called Lake Superior, Erie, Superior Lake, Michigan. These lakes, they concludes the 7 lakes. So Lake Superior is also is in USA. You see it in the atlas. Now we are going through North America. We had seen Asia, Europe. Now we are going to see the distribution of metals on North America. The mineral deposits in North America are located in 3 zones. 3 zones are richly filled with minerals. Now the zones are the Canadian region or north of Great Lakes, Canadian region north of Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are made of 7 lakes. Canadian region north of Great Lakes, the Appalachian region, the mountain ranges of the west. Iron ore, nickel, gold, uranium and copper are mined in the Canadian Shield region. Coal in the Appalachian region. Western Cordilleras have vast deposits of copper, lead, zinc, gold and silver. So this is about North America. Now we are going through South America. Brazil is the largest producer of high grade iron ore in the world. Means the good quality of high grade means good quality of iron ore in the world. Chile and Peru are leading producers of copper. Brazil and Bolivia are among the world's largest producers of tin. South America also have large deposits of gold. South America also have large deposits of gold. By gold jewelry is made, silver the jewelry is made, zinc, chromium, manganese, bauxite, mica, platinum, asbestos, diamond. These are the minerals that are found in South America. Mineral oil is found in Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Peru and Colombia. These are the petroleum resources that are found in Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Peru and Colombia. These are in South America. Now again a GK thing, a green diamond is the rarest diamond. Which is the rarest diamond? A green diamond. The oldest rock in the world are in the Western Australia. The oldest rocks in the world are in the Western Australia. They date from 4,300 million years ago, only 300 million years after the earth was formed. Now the next we are taking Africa. African continent. Africa is rich in minerals. It is the world's largest producer of diamonds, gold, platinum. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zaire produce a large portion of the world's gold. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zaire produce a large portion of the world's gold. The world's gold. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zaire produce a large portion of the world. Children, you know the team of South Africa that plays IPL, Zimbabwe team. These are the I will say countries which represent in IPL. Same they are representing here in the portion of world's gold. The other minerals found in Africa are copper, iron ore, chromium, uranium, cobalt, bauxite. Oil is found in Nigeria, Libya, and Angola. So this is the distribution of minerals in Africa. Now next is Australia. Australia is the largest producer of bauxite, the ore of bauxite in the world. It is the leading producer of gold, diamond, iron ore, tin, and nickel. It is also rich in copper, lead, zinc, and manganese. Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie areas of Western Australia have the largest deposits of gold. This is about Australia. Now next is Antarctica. The geology of Antarctica is sufficiently well known to predict the existence of variety of mineral deposits. The geology of Antarctica is sufficiently well known to predict the existence of a variety of mineral deposits. Some probably large, significant size of deposits of coal in the Trans-Antarctic Mountains and iron near the Prince Charles Mountain of East Antarctica is forecasted. Iron ore, gold, silver, and oil are also present in commercial quantities. So this is the distribution of Antarctica. Again, I am describing the geology of Antarctica is sufficiently well known to predict the existence of a variety of mineral deposits. Some probably large, significant size of deposits of coal in the Trans-Antarctic Mountains. There are the most probability of the findings of coal and iron ore near the Prince Charles Mountain of East Antarctica is forecasted. It is find out that Prince Charles Mountains of East Antarctica are rich in coal and iron ore, so they can be extracted there. Iron ore, gold, silver, and oil are also present in the commercial quantities. Okay, they can be commercialized from the Antarctica. Let's do list uses of any 5 minerals. Now here is the work given you that you should have to do in your notebook, that the uses of minerals. 5 minerals you take it, like iron, aluminium, copper, manganese, and petrol you can use, fossil fuels, the petroleum you can also use, and their uses. Now the same is done in the next heading, that is uses of minerals. Minerals are used in many industries. Minerals are used in many industries. Minerals are used in many industries. Minerals which are used for gems are usually hard. These are then set in various styles of jewelry. Copper is another metal used in everything from coins to pipes. Silicon used in computer industry is obtained from quartz. Aluminium obtained from its ore bauxite is used in automobiles and airplanes, bottling industry, buildings, and even in kitchen cookware. So these are the uses of different minerals that are lying in our commercial market. Okay, conservation of minerals. Now the availability, the distribution of minerals, it doesn't mean just extract out and use it as much as you can. We should use it wisely with the maximum fulfillment of need and minimum extraction of minerals. Like this we can do conservation of minerals. Gandhiji said we can satisfy our need, but we can't satisfy our greed. The same is applicable here. How the conservation of minerals can be done? Minerals are a non-renewable resource. They once exhausted cannot be renewed. It takes thousands of years for the formation and concentration of minerals. Thousands of years it takes in the formation. and in concentration of minerals. The rate of formation is much smaller than the rate at which the humans consume these minerals. The formation of minerals, it is less, but we consume it maximum. It is necessary to reduce wastage in the process of mining. While doing mining, we should not waste the ore that is mined. Recycling of metals is another way in which the mineral resources can be conserved. These two things is said here for the conservation of resources. Recycle can be done. Now here is a picture on think and act: reuse, reduce and recycle. Reuse, reduce and recycle. The same thing. We can satisfy the need, we cannot satisfy the greed. Can also be applicable for the conservation of resources. Now we are going over power resources. Now next question, children are talking here. Sunny's mother begins her day by switching on the geyser. Sunny's mother begins her day by switching on the geyser. She irons Sunny's school uniform before waking him up. She then rushes to the kitchen to prepare a glass of orange juice for him in the blender. Means everything is going through the machines with the power resource. Sunny have finished taking bath. Taps are made of minerals. Come and have breakfast, her mother is saying. Sunny's mother is saying. Calls out mother while preparing breakfast on the gas stove for Sunny. Calls out mother while preparing breakfast on the gas stove for Sunny. Gas stove is also made of metal. While going to school, Sunny forgets to switch off lights and fans. When mother switches them off, she thinks that life in the cities may be more comfortable. But its dependency on more and more gadgets, all of which consume energy, has led to wide gap between the demand and the supply. With the advent of science and technology, the lifestyles are changing very fast. Here is something her mother is describing. While going to school, Sunny forgets to switch off lights and fan. When Sunny moves to school and forgets to switch off light and fans, means the power is going to be waste. When mother switches them off, she thinks that life in the cities may be more comfortable. She thinks that life in the cities are more comfortable in comparison to villages. But its dependency on more and more gadgets, all of which consume energy, has led to a wide gap between the demand and supply. Means he is saying its dependency on more gadgets. We are depend on different gadgets for making our life comfortable, all of which consume energy. Means we use gadgets and gadgets needs power. Energy has led to wide gap between the demand and the supply. Means we are using gadgets, it needs power, but power is less and gadgets are more, so it creates a gap between it. With the advent of science and technology, the lifestyles are changing very fast. Now science and technology is developed in the full form. The lifestyles are changing very fast. Power or energy plays a vital role in our lives. Power or energy plays a vital role in our lives. We also need power for industry, we also need power for agriculture, we also need power for transport, communication and defense. Power resources may be broadly categorized as conventional and non-conventional resources. So children, you can see metals and power are continuously going on. They are integrated to each other. Means not everywhere, but somewhere they are integrated. Anything like you use press, her mother is using press and kitchen gadgets and everything they are using, but all are in need of powers. Now conventional resources and non-conventional. Power resources can maybe broadly categorized as conventional and non-conventional. What are conventional resources? Conventional sources of energy are those which have been in common use for a long time. Firewood and fossil fuels are the two main conventional energy resource. Firewood and fossil fuels, they are the conventional energy resource. Now firewood, it is widely used for cooking and heating. In our country, more than 50% of the energy used by villagers comes from firewood. The energy that is used in village, it comes from firewood. Remains of plants and animals which were buried under the earth for millions of years got converted by the heat and pressure into fossil fuels. You can know how the fossil fuels are formed. By the heat and pressure, they turn into fossil fuels. Fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas are the main sources of conventional energy. What are the main sources of conventional energy? They are coal, petroleum, and natural gas. The reserves of these minerals are limited. The rate at which the growing world population is consuming them is far greater than the rate of the formation. So these are likely to be exhausted soon. Here is a chart shown, means they can be exhausted if we use in excess. The same thing again I am saying, we can satisfy the need, we can't satisfy the greed. Here is a distribution given here, oil and natural gas. Advantage of oil, disadvantage of oil, and again advantage of natural gas. Advantage of oil, easier to transport, basis of petrochemical industry in the tanker. Disadvantage of oil, depletion of oxygen due to oil spillage and gas leakage. Pollutants released caused acid rain, and exploration of new fuel is not easy. Now in the natural gas, what are the advantages? Easier to transport, cleaner than oil and coal, cheaper than oil. It can be asked to differentiate. Now conventional source of energy, firewood and coal. They are also lying advantage and disadvantage. What are the advantage in firewood? Easy access, provides energy to a large number of people. And what are the disadvantage of firewood? Collection is time. Disadvantage, collection is time, consuming, polluting, promoting greenhouse effect, deforestation. Okay, these are the disadvantages. Now next is coal. What are the advantages of coal? Extensively available, efficient conversion to electricity, and disadvantage, polluting source, bulky to transport. Now next is hydel power. Hydel power, there are also lying advantage, non-polluting, promotes irrigation and fishing, and cheap. And disadvantage, displacement of local community, inundates low-lying regions, expensive to set up. So these are the different advantages and disadvantages of different conventional sources of energy. Okay, so now next we take coal. This is most abundantly found fossil fuel, abundantly in huge quantity. This is the most abundantly found fossil fuel. It is used as a domestic fuel. Domestic mean homely, in our daily needs, in industries such as iron and steel, steam engines, and to generate electricity. There are many uses of coal. We use it as a fuel. We use it in industries such as iron and steel, steam engines, and to generate electricity. Electricity from coal is called thermal power. The coal which we are using today was formed millions of years ago. The coal which we are using today was formed millions of years ago, when giant ferns and swamps got buried under the layers of earth. Coal is therefore referred to as buried sunshine. Okay, this is about coal. The leading coal producers of the world are China, USA, Germany, Russia, South Africa, and France. These are the rich producers of coal. The coal producing areas of India are Raniganj, Jharia, Dhanbad, Bokaro in Jharkhand. These are the coal capitals of India. Now next is, after coal, is petroleum. The petroleum that keeps your car running as well as the oil that keeps your cycle from squeaking both began as a thick black liquid called petroleum. It is found between the layers of rocks and is drilled from oil fields located in offshore and coastal areas. This is then sent to refineries which process the crude oil and produce a variety of products like diesel, petrol, kerosene, wax, plastics, and lubricants. All these are formed from the petroleum. Petroleum and its derivatives are called black gold, as they are very valuable. The chief petroleum producing countries are Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. The chief petroleum producing countries are Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. The other major producers are USA, Russia, Venezuela, and Algeria. The leading producers in India are Digboi in Assam, Bombay Eye in Mumbai, and the deltas of Krishna and Godavari rivers. So these are the distribution of petroleum. Word origin. The word petroleum is derived from Latin word petra. Petra meaning rock. Oleum. Oleum meaning oil. So petroleum means rock oil. Okay. Crude oil. Now natural gas. Natural gas is found with petroleum deposits and is released when crude oil is brought to the surface. It can be used as domestic and industrial fuel. Russia, Norway, UK and the Netherlands are the major producers of natural gas. Now do you know compressed natural gas is a popular eco-friendly automobile fuel as it causes less pollution than petroleum and diesel. Compressed natural gas is a popular eco-friendly. Eco-friendly means not harming the nature. Eco-friendly. Compressed natural gas is a popular eco-friendly automobile fuel as it causes less pollution. It causes less pollution than petroleum and diesel. In India, Jaisalmer, Krishna Godavari Delta, Tripura, Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, Krishna Godavari Delta in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, Tripura, Seven Sisters in India, and some areas offshore in Mumbai have natural gas resource. Very few countries in the world have sufficient natural gas reserves of their own. The sharp increase in our consumption of fossil fuels has led to their depletion at an alarming rate. The toxic pollutants released from burning these fuels are also a cause of concern. Unchecked burning of fossil fuels is like an unchecked dripping tap which will eventually run dry. This has unchecked burning of fossil fuels is like an unchecked dripping tap which will eventually run dry. Means we should use the petroleum fossil fuels wisely, economically. This has led to the tapping of various non-conventional sources of energy that are cleaner alternatives to fossil fuels. Now next is tidal power. The rainwater or river water stored in dams is made to fall from heights. The falling water flows through pipes inside the falling water flows through pipes inside the dam over turbine blades placed at the bottom of the dam. The moving blades then turn the generator to produce electricity. This is called hydroelectricity. The water discharged from after the generation of electricity is used for irrigation. 1/4 of the world's electricity is produced by tidal power. 1/4 means 100 of 100 it is 25. Tidal power. The leading producer of tidal power in the world are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. Some important tidal power stations in India are Bhakra Nangal, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar and Damodar Valley projects. Now again GK thing, knowledgeable thing. Norway was the first country in the world to develop hydroelectricity. Do you know the site of the world's first solar and wind powered bus shelter is in Scotland? Okay, the site of the world's first solar and wind powered bus shelter. The site of the world's first solar and wind powered bus shelter is in Scotland, a country in Europe. Non-conventional sources of energy. These all were conventional sources of now non-conventional sources. The increasing use of fossil fuels is leading to its shortage. It is estimated that if the present rate of consumption continues, the reserves of these fuel will get exhausted. Moreover, their use also causes environmental pollution. Therefore, there is need for using non-conventional sources such as solar energy. Wind energy, tidal energy, which are renewable. They are renewable. What are these? Solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy. They can be renewed. Salal Hydroelectric Project, Jammu and Kashmir. Now next, solar energy. First we will take it one by one. Solar energy. Sun's heat and light energy can be felt by us every day. Sun's heat and light sun's heat and light energy can be felt by us every day. Solar energy trapped from the sun can be used in solar cells to produce electricity. Many of these cells are joined into solar panels. Many of these cells are joined into solar panels to generate power for heating and lighting purpose. The technology of utilizing solar energy benefits a lot of tropical countries that are blessed with abundant sunshine. Solar energy is also used in solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers, besides being used for community lighting and traffic signals. Now, all these, I will say, non-conventional sources of energy have advantages and disadvantages. Now, first we take it wind energy. What are the advantages? They are non-polluting, low cost production of electricity once set up, safe and clean. And what are the disadvantages? Noise pollution, windmills costly to set up, disturbs radio and TV reception, and harmful to birds. Now solar energy, it also have advantages, inexhaustible and non-polluting. These are the advantage. Disadvantage, expensive, diffuse source, so gets wasted. Now tidal energy, there are also advantages, non-polluting, inexhaustible. What are the disadvantages? Destroys wildlife habitat and difficult to harness. Harness means find out. Non-conventional sources of energy, nuclear energy, biogas, geothermal energy. Nuclear energy, advantages, emits large amounts of energy. Disadvantage, generates radioactive waste and expensive. These are the non-conventional source of energy. Now biogas, they are also having advantage, low gas, easy to operate, makes use of bio waste, and disadvantage of biogas are causes greenhouse effect. Geothermal energy, it also had advantages, clean, eco-friendly and always available. Disadvantage, located far away from cities and so costly to transport the electricity. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of all these things. Let's go through wind energy. Wind is inexhaustible source of energy. Windmills have been used for grinding grain and lifting water since time immemorial. In modern time, windmills, the high speed winds rotate the windmill, which is connected to a generator to produce electricity. Wind farms having clusters of such windmills are located in coastal regions and mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. Wind farms have clusters of such windmills are located in coastal regions, areas that are found near the seas, coastal regions, and in mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. Wind farms are found in Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, UK, USA, and Spain are noted for their wind energy production. Now here is you have to do an activity solar cooker. Take an old car tube, inflate it and keep it on a wooden platform. Paint an aluminium vessel black from outside and add 1 cup rice with 2 cups of water to it. Close the vessel with a lid and place the vessel in the inner circle of the tube. Now place a glass frame over the tube and keep the set out in the sun. After the glass frame is placed, air can neither come in nor go out, but the sun rays coming into the closed cavity enclosed by the tube get trapped and cannot escape. The temperature increases slowly, cooking the rice over a few hours. Okay, this is a process to cook the rice. Now nuclear power. Nuclear power is obtained from energy stored in the nuclei of atoms naturally occurring in radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. These fuels undergo nuclear fission in nuclear reactors and emit power. The greatest producer of nuclear power are USA and Europe. In India, Rajasthan and Jharkhand have large deposits of uranium. Thorium is found in large quantity in the monazite sands of Kerala. The nuclear power stations in India are located in Kalpakkam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Rana Pratap Sagar near Kota in Rajasthan, Narora in Uttar Pradesh, and Kaiga in Karnataka. These are the places to be learnt. Now the geothermal energy. Heat energy, geothermal energy from the earth. Heat energy obtained from the earth is called geothermal energy. The temperature in the interior of the earth rises steadily as we go deeper. Sometimes this heat energy may surface itself in the form of hot springs. This heat energy can be used to generate power. Geothermal energy in the form of hot springs has been used for cooking, heating, and bathing for several years. USA has the world's largest geothermal plants, followed by New Zealand, Iceland, Philippines, and Central America. New Zealand, side by in the south of Australia, Iceland nearby England, Philippines in South Asia, and in Central America. Central America in between North America and South America. In India, geothermal plants are located in Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh, Kuga Valley in Ladakh. So here is the formation of given here of nuclear energy. You can see it, electricity used. You can see nuclear reactor, hot water, steam, then turbine moving, and then generator and electricity produced. Like this the process goes on. Now nuclear energy. These are the features shown here, and later then geothermal energy in Manikaran, it is also shown here. Cooking food with the help of geothermal energy, and now tidal energy. Natural crack. Now tidal energy. Energy generated from tides is called tidal energy. Tidal energy can be harnessed by building dams and narrow openings of the sea. During high tide, the energy of the tides is used to turn the turbine. During the high tide, the energy of the tides is used to turn the turbine installed I will say during high tide, the energy of the tide is used to turn the turbine installed in the dam to produce electricity. Russia, France, and the Gulf of Kutch in India have huge tidal mill farms. The first tidal energy station was built in France. You can see here. High tide, low tide, high tide. You can see it here. Okay. And this there is a generator lying, there is a turbine lying, and it is resulting in the generation of tidal energy. Now next is biogas. Organic waste such as dead plant and animal dung and kitchen waste can be converted into a gaseous fuel called biogas. You all are knowing to this because biogas is also a part of your science syllabus. You are familiar with this. Now how it is formed? It is formed from the dead plant, from animal material, from animal dung and kitchen waste. It is found can be converted into a gaseous fuel called biogas. The organic waste is decomposed by bacteria in biogas digesters to emit biogas, which is essentially a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. Biogas is an excellent fuel for cooking and lighting and produces huge amount of organic manure each year. Energy is everywhere, but we can see that harnessing this energy is both difficult as well as costly. Energy is everywhere, but we can see that harnessing this energy is both difficult as well as costly. Harnessing, extracting. Each one of us can make a difference by not wasting energy. Energy saved is energy generated. Act now and make brighter energy future. This is a feature of biogas shown here: slurry and gas tank, then soil, outlets and manure, fertilizers like this. This is working. Now this chapter is over, children. I described you each of the word wherever I thought difficult. Still, if you have any question, you put it and I will clear it. Like this, children, this is our next chapter. You go through it, and if there is lying any question, you ask it in the comment section of our channel. Yes, children, we will move towards our next chapter in our next video. I hope you all will be good and fine and healthy. Good wishes. Let's meet in next chapter.